guys, welcome back to another episode of Lady Justice Talks where Kirsty meets Law. Today you're with your host Ruba and we have a wonderful guest today, Gurnoor and Mahi. And now I'm gonna give a chance to them to introduce and let us know why they are today here. What's the topic? So Gurnoor, you wanna go ahead?
So, hi everyone, my name is Gurnoor. I'm in my third year of Law and Society, and I just recently joined Willa as an academic coordinator. And we're here today to talk about an episode and things that a lot of you brown girls could probably relate to. So, this episode's on sort of South Asian feminism and sort of breaking barriers in South Asian communities.
And Mahi, you wanna add on it?
I'm also a third year Law and Society student, and I'm the VP of Outreach for the Women in Law Association.
And to add on this is our Diwali special episode. Wishing you all very happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali, guys. Okay, so I come from South Asian community. You guys come from same background. So I want to ask, like, being a woman in that field, you guys are in law field. It's a big thing. Asking educations in such community where is like a lot of stereotype myths about women. So how even you guys are leader in your field. So how you guys make it? Like, what's your journey? So if you guys want know our listeners, let them know what's your background, what's your journey, a little bit on that.
So, my family's like not traditional. When I wanted to become a lawyer, I let my parents know, and they were supportive about it. My mom, she doesn't want me going to criminal law, though.
Really?
Yeah, she thinks I'm gonna get like murdered by a
Shot.
gang member or something. So, and she doesn't want me like affiliating myself with criminals. So that's like her only thing, like no criminal law. But I am interested in it, so we'll
So
see.
do you go through any fights or any arguments, and how you convince your parents like I want to be there?
I didn't actually have to like argue much with my parents about what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
It was more so where I wanted to go to school.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I'm from Windsor, right? So they wanted me to stay close to home because my older brother, he went to the University of Windsor.
Mm-hmm.
So he stayed close to home, and my mom's like, no, you have to go to Windsor. Toronto's very dangerous. There's always shootings. You're too far from home. What if something happens?
Yeah.
You need to be close to family. So we got into an argument about where I wanted to go to school, but
Mm-hmm.
my dad, he was born in Canada. So he went to Brock. I think, yeah, he went to Brock. So he helped me convince my mom that it was okay. He like advocated for me. And my dad
That's
is
good.
very supportive of
That's
my
good.
like law career. Like I started a club at school too, like the South Asian Women Empowerment Club.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad's been supportive about that. He like followed my Instagram account for the club. He reposts my posts. He likes them.
Mm-hmm.
He shares it on his story. So it's very nice. It's very different from like what you see normally. Like, oh, like families are very conservative. Oh, like
Yeah.
you see like on the news and like on social media, you see stuff like, oh, like they don't want their daughters going to school. You know,
Yeah.
they just want them to get married. Blah blah blah, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't experience that. There are definitely like parts of my life where there's like more traditional than others, but for like school and my like what I want to do, my parents have been supportive.
That's pretty good because I can relate to that line like your mom wants you to stay near the home because I'm international student, so even I moved to Canada because the only one reason like because my brother was here, so she got like a safer side. Okay, he is the older brother is there, so she will be more secure, safe instead of like if I did never ask for it, but I know what if I ask like I want to move to US or maybe I want to move to UK instead of Canada because there is nobody, right? I just want to move myself, and I'm pretty sure there are gonna be arguments in the family because my mom be like, you should be on the safer place, you should be with somebody to guide you. that makes sense from a parent's point, but I feel like because he was a guy, he moved by himself, but when it's my time, it's like I think you should go to the place where your brother is. That would be more safer. So I can add on that, like, stay close to the family, stay at the safer point. So I had such experience in like back in home. And Gurnoor, do you want to add on this something?
So guys, this is gonna suck, but I come from like a conservative Punjabi household.
Oh my god,
So
I can relate with that.
my mom is like really strict, so I think in Punjabi households it's like you could either be a lawyer, doctor, or engineer. But then my mom always wanted me to be a doctor, so even me like saying I want to be a lawyer and I want to go down the path of law was just like a huge argument in our household. And I remember doing like science and like applying for biomed for like all my university. Then I secretly applied for law.
Really?
At York, yeah.
Oh my god.
I secretly applied for law, and then I got into Waterloo for biomed.
Oh.
So then I rejected Waterloo to come to York. So she still, like my mom, she still holds like a grudge about it.
Okay.
Like she's like, oh, like if you want, like just go back to medical because she's like your job's more secure. But yeah, now I'm doing law. So yeah, I guess like it's different because back then, like in the old times, it was like girls can't get an education. But now it's like, yeah, like parents are like education is the only thing that you have to focus on. You can't be focusing on like partying, relationships, going out, and all of that. So I think it's different now. There's like different challenges you're facing in life.
Yeah.
So I feel like, to add on this, like, you are getting education right now. It's better than from the previous, like, from the past years, but still you can't make some choices, right? I remember when I'm in accounting, so it was my time to choose the stream. So we used to choose the stream after 10th grade back in India, so I have to choose, like, should I go with commerce, I should go with STEM or arts. So I was like, I think I should go with arts. And my mom be like, no.
I know.
Not at all. You're not going with arts. Like, that's not a secure future. And, like, she'd be like, either STEM or either like go for commerce, and I'd be like, no, I don't like STEM. Like, I don't want to be like around medical, health, and nursing and stuff like that. I don't like it. So she'd be like, okay, but no arts, not at all. You have to go with commerce. So I end up choosing commerce. So far, I'm happy that I'm loving that business money minded things, and like I'm like, oh, I can be a businesswoman, I can be a leader in that field. But so far, like, my initial thought was like, I don't want to go with the commerce field, but it's just the family, like, no, it's not you're not gonna get a secure future in that. I don't know, it's a family concerns, like, no hate, nothing, but like, okay, but I have to make a choice because there was a family point behind that as well. To ask, because I can relate with you guys, like, I also been through it. It's just the education, but in case you think about a marriage and it's failure or something, and what if you think about a divorce, how that works in the household, like, what do you guys think about it?
So
divorce, you can go first.
So honestly, I think the things that are taboo in brown households is live-ins. Relationships in general, guys are taboo. A girl cannot be talking to a guy. And I think divorce...
Not even a guy best friend.
Yeah, no guy best friend. You have a group project. Your mom has to know who this guy is, what he's doing, all of that. Like, you can't do a group project either. So honestly, like, the whole question of divorce is, like, a big thing for brown households because I feel like divorce is, like, non-existent. Like, you're married. And, like, honestly, when women initiate that they want a divorce, the biggest card is that you're asking for a divorce because you can't cook, you can't clean, you're doing something wrong. Like, you're just a bad wife, this, that. It's never male accountability. It's just not in the picture at all, which is a huge issue. And I feel like our brown moms, they will literally take us into a quiet room and be like, okay, beta, like, be quiet, you need to calm down, like, this is life, like, I did it, your grandma did it, you have to do it. But, like, I think the ultimate question is, like, why do you have to be quiet? Like, if you're getting abused at home, if you want to choose career over, like, settling down, you don't want kids yet, it all should be normal instead of our parents sort of being like, no, you have to make the sacrifice. It's like, women don't have to make the sacrifice always.
Yeah. My family is not like that. it's like
you're not that. You're not in that conservative household.
Okay.
then.
no,
We
I'm
love
not.
that.
Even though
We
my
want to know the
mom,
opinions. Still, we want to know.
my mom was born and raised in India, and then she came here in 2003, I think,
Mm-hmm.
right after she got married to my dad. But even though she grew up like in India, like she still has like a lot of traditional values instilled in her.
Mm-hmm.
She believes in like standing up for yourself and speaking out. Like she
That's
like
pretty good. Yeah.
divorce, like if it's like a small argument, then she'd be like, no, that's stupid, right?
Yeah.
Or like if like I guess like verbal abuse, that's like not a thing in like brown households, but physical abuse is a thing. She says, yeah, like, you know, you can get divorced then if the husband's beating you. She's like, if he hits you, you hit him back. Okay,
Yeah,
that's what
that's
you
good.
do. Cuz I remember like when I was like younger in school, she's like, oh, like you're not allowed to get into fights because there was like a lot of fights happening in my school, right? So she's like, if someone hits you first, then you can hit them back, but don't ever start a fight. So like stuff like that, like divorce, I don't think she'd be like upset about it if like it's like a valid reason, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't think divorce is like taboo in my family. Everyone's pretty like, well, not like the very old, like the grandparents and stuff.
Yeah.
That's different. But like my mom, my dad, like my aunts and uncles, they're all like because they were born. Not my mom, but like my aunt and my uncles and my dad, they were all born like in Canada and like the States. So my aunts are pretty feminist.
Mm-hmm.
So like they wouldn't like be like, oh no, you can't get a divorce. They wouldn't like
Yeah.
judge you or whatever. So it's pretty nice.
To add on this, like I know like the divorce thing, but it also depends upon families right now. Like, cause your family, maybe your dad moved here. They like you moved here, right? Your dad is born here, so I feel like that's also make the impact. But if you literally go into typical household back in India right now, I think we're still fine. Like I sometimes I feel privileged. Like I moved to Canada, I have my future ahead. If I decide to stay here, whatever, like I still get a kind of wider scope, so I can choose. But if I look back into that, like right now, if I would be in India and think about like I have to get a divorce, it's gonna be like a huge thing. And I think that's the reason where education comes. Like I'm not saying there's no education back home, there is, but still the social norms are there and people are not literally working on that. Like there are things there, even they have the policies, they have rules, but it's just like if you go in the ground level, all the mindsets, all the, I would say, social things still exist. And if we're, because we're talking it's all as a whole for the South Asian community, so I feel like we still feel privileged, like because we moved it as immigrants, we still get some, you know, leniency or something like that. And I heard about, like my mom is still back home, I heard about the stories, like even something happening right now, and even the girl is fully educated, she had degrees, MBA, BA, whatever, like all kind of degrees, and still if she's asking for divorce, I'm like, it's not true, it's not right, you can't go for it. So even to like that's what like next question is like, what do you guys think about the mental health in the household? Like what's your opinions about it? Like because if you're being a woman, you have to deal, like you have to convince your own family that this guy is not right for me, I need a divorce. What do you think as a child was a mental health in like back home, if you ever noticed, even not for us, like even if you can think about your mom from her ages, like what was the mental health, how they focus on that thing? What do you think about it? Like do you think there should be more changes, there are some need to be, like, you know, I think Mahi wants to add something. I can see that. You want to go ahead?
I think like mental health is like a taboo topic in like brown households. Like I don't even think it matters what part of India you're from. Like I'm Gujarati, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like even it's like Gujarati, Punjabi households, whatever, I feel like mental health, like the talk of it is pretty non-existent. It's like
counseling? What is counseling? Why you need counseling?
Yeah,
Why
like,
you need a counselor? We are here. You can sit and talk to us.
Yeah, but like when you try to talk to your parents, it just turns into a big lecture.
I
know, they're like, oh, like we feed you, you know, you have a roof over your head, we buy you whatever you want.
Mhm.
Why are you depressed and stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
I feel like I've like heard that like from my friends and stuff. Like we're
Yeah.
also brown. It's like even like saying the word depressed or like mental health, it like triggers something. Everyone just starts freaking out, and
Mhm.
it's like very. I feel like we need to educate our families more on the topic.
Yeah.
Like they probably went through stuff too, like when they were
I know,
younger and
right?
stuff.
Yeah.
They just never talked about it. They like repressed their feelings. They just never brought it out.
Yeah.
But it's healthy for them to talk about it now, even if it's like 30 years later. You can
Mhm.
still talk about it.
Yeah. I like. Do you want to add something, Gurnoor? Yeah.
Yeah, like 100%. I think mental health is just so taboo in brown households. I feel like us as kids, we're supposed to be going to our parents to talk
Mhm.
about our mental health, but it's like vice versa. It's like we're sort of also helping our parents. We're
Yeah.
like
That's so true. That's
yeah,
so
we're
true.
automatically just responsible for their mental health, and I feel like that's like it's a con, of course, but then at the same time, it's like a pro because brown girls are so strong. Like, I feel like you just have to find your people, like, whether it could be like friends or like, I don't know,
Mhm.
like club members, for example.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like we just like uplift each other as girls. And like, when I compare like brown girls' mental health to like a average guy's mental health, it's like, there's such a difference. Like us brown girls, we're like so strong. We can handle like a full-time job, like school, like all of this course load, everything together, plus a brown household. And like for guys, it's like they can't multitask. Like they could barely
Yeah.
handle school. Like I think it's different. So I feel like brown parents really, like Mahi said, they really need to up their game in terms of like they have to get educated. I want to go up to my mom. Well, yeah, I want to go up to my mom and be like, hey, like I'm going through this, and like
Mhm.
instead of like her like throwing a slipper at me, I want her to actually like care about what I say. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like that's. I want to add on to the Mahi's point. That was really good. Like that they didn't even know about the something like mental health. There's something like therapies. There's something like counseling because nobody talked about it with them as well. They never been through like any counseling or stuff like that. In this today's generation, if you talk about that, and biggest thing is the mindset, how they set up is like if you talk about the mental health, it's just like you're going through some stress. You don't know how to do the time management. You don't know how to like deal with every responsibility together. Sometimes that stressed you, but if you clearly stately mention that you're going through a mental stress, they're just gonna consider you as a mentally upset. So it's the biggest thing I feel, and nobody taught them. I'm not saying because our parents are living their life for once, right? They for the first ever time. But I feel where's the lack of education? Where's the lack of advocacy? Like nobody is advocating for that part. So being like asking for like emotional support availability is not you're mentally upset or you're dealing with some brain or neuro disorder or something like that. So that's another fact. Like I even noticed like a lot within the back household, like back home, like even either not even like you're coming from low income family, either even in the rich families, they even can afford a psychologist, they can afford a counselor like for one-on-one sessions. But still if you ask for it openly in society and specifically as a girl, and then it comes a point like when you're asking for a mental like help, in case they don't want to reveal it to the public, because they think in case you want to get married one day, nobody will marry you because they will think you are mentally ill. These are the few stereotypes that I can see in the society still in this generation, like in this century when we have like so much access to everything. And even to add on this, because I talked about the marriage and thinking, do you guys know? Do you guys have idea about the beauty standards like they have?
Oh my
Like
god,
if you want to get
yeah.
married, these are the beauty standards you should meet. The like even not even for the marriage purpose in general, like a being a brown girl, long hairs, long height, tall
Yeah.
height, long hairs, and then I think I
Light
don't know.
skin,
Yeah, something
like
like that. So
fair
have
and
you guys ever
lovely.
been through these kind of situations or how you deal with that? Like even if you not you in your household, in your friends and cousins. So what do you guys want to add on that? What about the
Oh,
beauty standards
the
in the household?
beauty standards are very Western European. I think that just starts like the colonization of India, but that's like
Mm-hmm.
so. back there, you know, like
Yeah.
I feel like if you're like too dark, they like, you know, you get made fun of. They're like, oh, why are you so dark, you know?
Yeah.
And then people treat you very differently.
Yeah.
Like if you look at, let's say Bollywood for an example, all the actresses are like light skinned, you know, they're like almost white, you know, like
Yeah.
if you look at them, they're like very pale and whatever. And then, you know, we have like brands like Fair and Lovely and stuff. Oh
Exactly.
my god. I remember when I saw that when I was younger, I was like, what am I looking at, bro? Like Fair and Lovely. And then I would get like insecure if I was too dark or whatever. And then I remember one time I was like with a family friend and we were hanging out with her friends and they were taking like their grad photos for high school.
Yeah.
And one of the girls is standing under the sun and she's like, oh my god, no, like I have to go in the shade. I don't want to be too dark. And I was like in grade 11 at that time. So I was like, I like gave her a dirty look. I'm like, what's wrong with that? Like,
Yeah.
but I feel like, you know, like your parents, like how you're raised and stuff, you're going to get like a certain mindset about certain things, right? Like if your parents fill your, I'm sorry, if your parents fill like your head with like, oh, like if you're too dark, you're ugly, like no one will love you, you know, this and that. And I remember when I was younger and my curly hair just started developing too, like curly hair. My mom looked at me and she's like, did you not brush your hair? And I'm like, I did. Like, it's just naturally curly. And she's like, no, I don't think you're brushing your hair. And so I would always straighten my hair because I was like very insecure about it. Because my mom has curly hair too, but she was never taught like how to like deal with it, right? So she just thought it's bad. Curly hair is bad. And I remember she would like brush out my curls and it'd just be like this big like bush thing. And I'd hate it so
I
much.
can add on that. I remember I was at bus stop or something, and there was another brown girl. It was not even a curly hair. She got frizzy hairs, and she touched to my head, like literally she touched to my head like this. And she is, I think, from the same community. And she asked me that, can you suggest me what are you using for it? I'm going through a lot, like I don't know, my family and everybody, they also asked me to get, I don't know what's it's, straightening or some professional treatments. And I'm like, you got just frizzy hairs, it's fine, you can just oil and just wash it, it's fine. She'd be like, no, your hairs are so, like my hairs are like a little oily and straight. So she'd be like, can you just suggest me what are you using for it? And I looked into the eyes and she's like passionate, like, I want to know this. What she's using. Like, I want that hairs. I was like, I don't know how much she's going through and like what the people are saying to her. She was like, she was literally saying, my hairs are like this. My hairs are so frizzy. It's not the right ones. I don't know why I'm not blessed with the hairs like you. And I was like, nobody's blessed. Like, it's not something but a blessing. It's just like a natural thing, and you should be happy for that. And I literally remember I was like, I got first impression, I got shocked, like when she literally comes and touched to my head like this, and I'm like, what she's doing. And then when she talk about me, like, okay, then, and I remember she ended up like asked me to show me what I'm using, and I literally googled all the products I use, and then I showed her these are my shampoos and oils, and she'd be like, okay, I have to use it. I want hairs like you. And this is what she, like, it was something that seeded in her, like, you need a frizz-free, good hairs, long hairs. And I chopped my hairs right now, but back, like, few months back, I have long hairs. And even, like, I remember she touched and she looked, like, at the length of the hairs, and, like, she'd be like, touch wood, I want this hairs. Like, my family loves long hairs. They also asked, like, girl, should I get a long hairs? And I still remember, I was like, I literally talked to my brother at home, and, like, what's the problem with her hairs? Like, I was like, nothing. It just set into her mind that you need a long and frizz-free hairs.
Yeah.
And do you want to add something on this, Gurnoor? Do you ever
Like, I feel like it's so hard for brown girls with all these beauty standards. Fair and Lovely was so big back then.
Oh my god.
Turmeric masks at home to, like, make sure you're white. Like, it's like people want, like, let me give you the list. You have to be skinny, tall. You have to have straight hair. But then at the same time, these Western imposed ideals, it's like you also have to be cultured. You have to be beautiful, but you have to be cultured. Like, for brown parents, like, if they go to the beach, for example, and they see, like, unmodest clothing, they're like, no, like, we don't need that in our life. So it's like, it's like you're sort of being a girl that's born here, like not in India. It's weird because it's like you have to manage those brown traditions, but also like I want to look Canadian, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Like I want to like match the ideals over here. Like I don't want to look weird. Curly hair is a big thing. Like I remember as a kid, like Mahi said, not knowing how to take care of my curly hair, like frying it every single day was like a big thing. But I feel like over time it's evolving. We have like TV shows. I never knew I would see a brown girl who's like the main character in a TV show. Like never
So
have I
true.
ever.
Yeah.
Devi Vishma Kumar. Like hats off to you. Like girl. Like I never thought that would ever happen. Mindy Kaling, Priyanka Chopra, like all these women
Yeah.
are taking us forward.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember like clean girl makeup, such a trend.
Yeah.
Remember like I'm like, hey, like I can't be like that white. I can't do clean girl makeup. Like sort of navigating as you get older, makeup, hair, like all of these things. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks for adding that point. Like when you're like dealing with what thing, you have to be cultured, but also you have to be modest. You're stuck with it. That was actually my next question. Like, because we are immigrants. I am first gen. You guys are second gen, maybe. So somehow we are immigrants. So have you guys ever feel like when you're trying, because you're trying to be cultured for the family, but you also have to be in Western culture because you have to study, stay here. So as an immigrant, because I feel we're stuck in between somehow. Like we're not properly from back from home. We're not properly Canadian. We're somewhere in between. So have you ever had some experience during the uni, like when you're immigrants, you're browns or something like that, and you're like, I don't know what to do. If I went home, they want me the culture. If I came here, they want me to be a Western culture. Like I don't know what to do. Do you guys have such kind of experience so far?
I think one of the biggest like factors is clothing. Like
Yeah.
I have to like at home, you know, you have to wear like a kurta pajama or like you have to wear like proper modest clothes. And it's like, hey, like what if I want to go out? Like I can't even wear shorts, for example. Like it's like you have to be modest. So now all of a sudden I'm like leaving the house in like full clothes and then I'm like entering the Uber or my car and I'm like changing up,
Really?
right? Yeah, literally. Like it's like cuz we've been taught to be traditional, but I'm also navigating my life being like an average 20-year-old, right? I think like getting a tattoo, like getting piercings, like cutting your hair is such a big thing. Like normal things that are normal for girls my age, like I'm like fighting for at home because it's different for brown like moms, or like you need to know how to cook, right? Like
Yeah.
if you're a brown girl and you don't know how to cook, that's like such a big issue because all of a sudden it's like you're like incompatible for like marriage. Like if you don't know how
That's
to cook,
so true.
you're not
so
gonna get
true.
married. Or like if you don't know how to like sort of navigate like school and household chores, you're like a failure. You're not gonna get married. You're gonna get divorced within the first year. Like all these ideals, it's hard because I think another like problem I had as a kid was learning my language. My
Yeah.
mom was like, at home, you have to speak no English. It's just Punjabi because I have like grandparents at home. So I used to speak so much Punjabi that like I actually forgot English.
Oh yeah.
Like that's such a major issue. I think that's like another issue, like navigating that. And like just, I feel like I don't want to argue over every opinion I have because my opinion is just going to contradict your morals or like your traditions. That's like such a big issue in brown households.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up in like a predominantly white area, so I'm like very whitewashed now. But now I feel like embarrassed of how whitewashed I am. Like earlier when we were talking about like, oh, like divorce and stuff, I'm like, what's that phrase they always say? Lo, yeah, whatever. I'm like, wait, how do you even say that? Like,
It's like lo kya kahenge.
yeah,
Lo
yeah,
kya-
yeah.
yeah,
I'm like,
lo
I don't
kya
know.
kahenge.
I wanted to say it, but I was like,
what people will say about
Yeah.
it, what society will think about you. It's
I
log
know.
kya kahenge. Yeah.
yeah,
in that
I was
way.
like, wait, how do I even say that? I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't just say it at all. Like, at home, like, my mom's like, speak Gujarati, you know, but I can't really speak it. And then when I try to speak it, I sound like so white. Oh my god. I sound like, you know, Katrina Kaif in that one movie? She's like, let me speak. And then she's like,
Yeah, I know.
Hindustan.
Yeah,
Well,
I remember that.
yeah.
That's a trending meme right now. So
Yeah,
she's trying to
I
speak.
sound
yeah.
like that when I speak Gujarati. So every time I try to speak, my mom laughs, my uncle laughs, everyone's laughing at me, and I'm like,
So ever they like force or make a kind of pressure on you, like you have to learn it and you have to make it normal.
Yeah,
You
actually-
should normalize the speaking Gujarati.
Yeah.
So have you been through that kind of thing?
I have, because my little sister, she's 10 years younger than me, right? She went
Mhm.
to India for 2 months and she came back. She's fluent in Gujarati now.
Oh my god.
So, like, my brother and I, we don't speak fluent Gujarati. We speak, like, very broken. We don't really know how to say it because we grew up in a time where we always had to speak English, like,
yeah.
at school, at work. And then at home, my dad speaks to us in English. So, like, my mom speaks to us in Gujarati. So
Mhm.
luckily we're able to understand the language, but we can't speak it, right?
Yeah.
So then it's now more embarrassing in my head, like, oh, my little sister can speak it, but I can't speak it. Like, how
Yeah.
embarrassing is that, right? So
Yeah, even I would say you should be proud of that, even because if you feel embarrassed because you can't speak your native language, it shows that you're still connected to your culture. You value that thing,
Yeah.
right? If you don't care about it, you're still like, because somehow I saw you're still attached to culture. You start your, like, as you mentioned, you start South Asian Women Empowerment Club.
Yes.
So if you said, like, you're literally white wash, it doesn't show like you're not connected to your roots, right? Somehow you have that and you want to work for that thing, right? And to be add on more, like, we talk about beauty standards, we talk about, like, all the divorce things. If we go into the depth, like, from the household, because we also deal with the class, race, religion. So how do you guys think about it, like how it add more to the stereotypes or the barriers you have to go
Oh
through every
my
day?
god, because I grew up in, like, such a white, like, place. Oh
Mm-hmm.
my god. I'm Hindu, right?
Yeah.
And, like, I remember people would be like, oh, like, you cow piss drinker and stuff like
Oh my
that. Or, like, you
gosh.
curry muncher. And I'm like, bro, like, and then they'd be like, oh, I heard people in India, they make houses out of cow poop. And they'd, like, see this stuff on, like, social media, like, them showing, like, the
Yeah.
slums of India, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, like, those people are, like, very poor. They're, like, just trying to, like,
Oh yeah.
make it through. Like,
Uh-huh.
my family's not from that part of India. We're, like, from, like, more, like, well off
Yeah.
parts, but they wouldn't listen to me. They just called me cow piss drinker, blah blah blah. And I was super embarrassed of my, like, religion. You know, I was like, oh my god, like, this is what people think of us. Like,
Yeah.
so I what's the word, deviated away from my religion. I wasn't religious at all. Like, I'm like, do I even believe in God? I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Like, so I've recently started to, like, try to be more religious.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have, like, the Bhagavad Gita book. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
like, started reading it, and then I'm, like, listening to prayers. Like, my grandma always tells me to listen to, my mom and my grandma, they tell me to listen to, like, the Hanuman Chalisa at night and stuff.
Yeah.
So I, like, started doing that. So that's good. But, like, I remember, like, I'd be so embarrassed to be Indian. Like,
Mhm.
even in
Mhm.
university,
Mm-hmm.
like, in my first year, like, because of, like, the immigration issues, people, like, have started to become more racist towards South Asian people, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, like, maybe I don't get, like, as much because, you know, when I talk to people, I sound white, you know, so
Mhm.
they know, like, oh, she's born here. But, like, to international students, it's probably, like, even worse.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't know, like, people ask me, they, like, show me videos of, like, this guy, like, on the street, like, he put, like, his whole arm in the, like, the food and he was, like, stirring it. And
Yeah.
they're like, oh, this is what you feed people, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, like, this is what you eat at home,
Mm-hmm.
blah, 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 stuff like that. And I was, like, very upset. I'm like, well, that's not actually, like, India's a very beautiful place. Like, this
Yeah.
is all you see. Like, it's not like that at all, you know?
I know, right? So, because I think from here, because we also talk about the Bollywood, it's more about what they show what the media shows to the people, right? Even for the, like, same Bollywood movies are everything that set the standards for the Indian community, the South Asian community as well. I would say Bollywood is in the South Asian countries, the Bollywood is the biggest film industry among most of the industries over there, and I feel they set the standards. They never, like, that's so true. They never bring a brown woman or brown face in front of that. They set an image like it should be a white face always, right? Same for the media, like people scroll on reels, YouTube shorts, whatever they show, the content they create. That's a thing. I would appreciate, like, there are many now. Once the time is changing into YouTube vlogs, a lot of people are coming for the real sides of the countries now. They can just go into that. But I would say from where everything started from where they set up is like what they choose to show on the TVs, because we can't control that. So far, we can control the vlogs. We can just go ask for the like freedom to write, like I don't know what the rights, like freedom to speech, right? Kind of thing. But I feel like that is another big thing that set the mindset of the people, like what they look into that. Even for like being an immigrant, like if you have to deal with somewhere here, like they're gonna trust what they see, like they are watching every day. And it's very much like the media, what they are like creating, kind of like, I don't know how to say, like aura, or I don't know what's the right
Yeah.
word for it. Like they are creating it somehow. Like they're
Mm.
never bringing, like that's so true. Like they're showing the slum side of the India or South country, right? South Asian country. They're never bringing the another side. Like we also have it's a developing country. So far we have another buildings, we have another industries, we have a Silicon Valley. They're never bringing that side up there.
No.
It's much
Sorry.
like yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. I feel like also like this whole thing like, oh, all Indian people smell bad. That really
Yeah.
triggered me. Like I spray on so much perfume. I like, put on a lot of deodorant. I'm like scared, so scared to ever smell bad.
Yeah.
Like when my little sister, like she just turned 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's like the age you need to start putting on deodorant. I told her, I'm like, you need to start using deodorant. Do it. Don't smell bad. I don't want because I don't want her getting bullied at school, right?
I know, that's so
So
true.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? Like, just make sure like you put on deodorant every day. Don't smell bad.
Yeah.
I tell her, she just doesn't. She's like, she thinks I'm being mean. I'm like, oh, you smell. Like, go put on deodorant.
Just even like think about the kid's point of view. She's a kid, and how it's gonna start in her mind from at this age and up to that age. I don't know. Like it's from this age she has to like, I don't know, deal with this thing. She has to like, she gonna make herself used to use deo right now.
Yeah.
Because she know it's not even she take a shower, like she not smelling bad. It's a stereotype.
Yeah.
Like she has to. And Gurnoor, do you want to add something? Do you have such experience in your life so far?
I feel like Mahi talked a lot about like external discrimination, but like adding on to that, I feel like there's so much internal discrimination that our own brown people do. I feel like one of the biggest ones would be caste system, like part of the question. Like I don't know if Gujarati people have castes.
We do. It's
You
just
guys
like
do?
I feel like I just never hear of. Like I just search it up because one time someone's like, "Oh, what's your caste?" And I'm like, "Caste? I don't know." Like
Yeah.
I just search it. I'm like, "What's the Gujarati caste system?" But I've never heard of it. I feel like it's not very like
Yeah.
big. But I was also like born in Canada. I grew up in Canada, so I never
Yeah.
really had to experience.
Maybe your family never touched on
Yeah.
that topic. Yeah.
Because I feel like Punjabi people have like so much caste like patriarchy. I feel like like I'm Punjabi, like my caste is Jat. So I feel like what I see oftentimes is that like brown parents play a huge role in this. Like they use caste system as slurs, right? Like you look like this today, or like why are you acting like this, like with the caste. It's like you can't be doing that. Like we all are human. Like you can't be using caste system as a slur. Now automatically when people like as a kid, if I hear you using that, I'm gonna think it's a bad word, so now I'm gonna be using it. I feel like honestly the difference has to start from brown parents. You have to stop using the caste system as a slur. I feel like when I look at back home, like intercaste marriage is such a taboo thing. Like if you do intercaste marriage, like you're getting disowned, or like I've literally seen like powerful people like shoot down people because they did intercaste marriage, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like another form of discrimination would be like immigration. Like this whole term that people are coining fobs, they're not fobs. Our parents also immigrated here. Like guys, come on, grow up. Like I feel like that's such a big thing. Like honestly, why are brown people putting other brown people down? Like we need to
Yeah.
stop.
I agree with that. I
That's
feel
so
like
true.
I feel like even sometimes I'm victim to like that. I'm like, oh, I
You
don't
wanna
want
add on that?
I don't
Like,
want to
you
look
wanna
like
be
a
open with it?
fob.
Yeah.
No, I say that. I feel like that's so. I'm like, oh, I don't want to look like a fob. But I feel I feel like listening to these stories and stuff. I feel bad about saying that stuff now, but I don't know. It's just because like even in my household, like my mom, she's an immigrant, but like she said that she doesn't hate all international students. It's like that select few that like puts a bad name on Indians, and then somehow people take like that very tiny group of people, and they're like, oh, that small group represents all
Whole,
Exactly.
Indians,
it's a
right?
whole,
Yeah.
right?
So she's like, oh, like she says stuff about them, but like when you're younger, like you think, oh, all Indian immigrants are like
Mm-hmm.
bad, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
like,
just that image in your mind, like, okay, Indian or South Asians, they're like, they are gonna be like that, what my mom talked about.
yeah.
It's always that image. Like, let's talk about your younger sister. So, what she's listening right now, it's just gonna set into her mind, like, okay, these people are like these kind of thing. They do whatever, like we talked about, they just follow that thing, right? If we talk about, like, we talk about the internal household things. So, even in the law field, when you're like, if you go for any moots competitions, if any, like, I don't know, it's internship for law or
Yeah.
something like that. So do you guys feel kind of that kind of discrimination or maybe stereotypes for South Asian communities or specifically South Asian women, women of color? Do you guys feel that in the field as well in Canada when you're pursuing your law fields? Like, you're dealing with a lot of people today, right? You're going to the lawyers, you're going for the internships. So from coming from such kind of community, do you guys feel any kind of struggle you have to go through?
I feel like in my first year, I did have a law internship, like,
Mm-hmm.
but the person that owned the law firm, he was Indian, like he was brown, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I talked to like one of the lawyers, she was also brown, you know? So maybe I should have asked her like what her experience was like, but I didn't really think of it as much because, you know, you see like a lot of brown people excelling in these fields, like,
Yeah.
oh, they own law firms. Like, even like in our Halloween panel,
Mm-hmm.
one of our panelists,
We're
Kavita,
talking about our villa event. That was our Halloween
yes,
panel.
one of our panelists, Kavita, she's brown and she owns a family law firm. So
Oh.
I feel like they probably do go through a lot. Like,
Mhm.
they probably had to go through a lot
Yeah.
to get to where they are.
Yeah.
But I feel like most of like the racism and stuff stems to like minimum wage jobs, like, oh, Tim Hortons worker or like fast
Oh,
food
yeah.
works. That's where the racism really
Comes,
is. You
yeah.
know, they're like, oh, it's like, oh my God, the Tim Horton worker insults. They're like, oh, shouldn't you be working at Tim Hortons? Oh, aren't you late for your shifts at
Mhm.
Tim Hortons? I'm like, I don't work at Tim Hortons. Like, what? You
Oh
know,
my
I feel
God.
like everyone's like, oh, like Indians only hire Indians, stuff like that.
Mhm.
I feel like that's what I've seen because I haven't experienced stuff
Mhm.
like in like the legal field
Mhm.
yet. I hope I never do. But yeah.
That's touch wood, you never does. And Gurnoor, do you have any experience about that? Do you want to add something on
I
this?
think honestly, trying to be a part of the law field, one of the biggest things that I get is like your trauma is the reason why you want to be a lawyer. No, it isn't. I want to be a lawyer. Like, it's like something I'm passionate about. Like Mahi said, I like before my current job, I actually did fast food for 4 years.
Mhm.
The amount of the amount of times I've gotten like cussed out or like there's been slurs passed out that like go back to your country. You had one job to do and you can't even do this. Is it like hard for you to understand English? And it's like you know, like there's so much racism a part of it, and like just not even like the job I am like at right now, it's like very male dominated. It's a male dominated field because I work in corporate. So
Mhm.
like I feel like honestly one of the biggest challenges is being a female, but then being a brown girl, like a South Asian female that's working in a male dominated field is even worse. It's because many people around you, like many of my colleagues or coworkers, they're like, why are you here? Like,
Mhm.
they wouldn't say it, but like the look they give or the indirect, you know, like sort of remarks they make, like, hey, like, I don't think you're strong enough to do this, or hey, like, I don't think you're built for this. It's like that, you know, like that patriarchy that we're having. Like, just
Mhm.
because you're a guy, you're not better than me. I could do my job equally as good as you, probably better actually. But yeah, I feel like that's like something that's so prominent. Like, I feel like girls are always looked at like, you know, very sweet, very innocent, like, you know, very like calm. They're not strong enough to do certain things,
Mhm.
but I feel like that's like honestly just wrong.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's so true. Like, I still, when you mention like the portrait, it comes to my mind. So whenever you look into the like most of the paintings they used to make for Indian women or brown women, it's always like lotus, roses.
Yeah.
It's like they're like from very like previous, I would say, decades. They're like portraying it like a soft girl, like a with beautiful roses, jewels, and I have to say, like, I'm not saying there are no women like some from the history. We have very strong women, freedom fighters, also like back from history. But what's the global image it sets mostly for women back in India or even for the global scale? It's like they're dressed in saris, they have jewelries, they have just like lotus flowers, and they have like birds near her. That's the actual, like, when you think about Indian women, it comes to your mind. So it's from very beginning they portray I don't know how they like paint this or set in the mind, and then it's come to a global scale. But I have to say, like, we have such like hidden fighter stories, have strong women stories that never came out. They always like I don't know, it's died or buried somewhere in the history, but. It's something the image they created, and it's now comes to not even for the Indian. I would say for the women specifically, it's like a soft girl who can't just deal with a lot of stuff together, and specifically in a male working area or like dominant society. So that's everywhere, I would say. Like now I can, like, if I look into, even though for the white, because we also have like some recordings with the episodes with the white culture, and I talked to one of my I remember my mentor. So for one of my course I get, and they also mentioned like the same thing that you're talking. She was like, either I'm from the white culture, but I still have that thing in my household, like, you can't do this. And it was like, I don't know what's the specific, if she's Canadian, she was an immigrant, maybe from another white country. I don't know about that, maybe from Europe, another country. So she said, for coming to York wasn't the same struggle for me that you had. I was like, okay, it's everywhere. It's like, in general, if I'm talking as a whole, like, okay, they portray the women from very beginning, like, something as soft that you, like, she's just for the staying at home and just be secure at one place, like, not to, I don't know, not to go for the challenges or something like that. Okay, so now we're the youngsters. So I want to know, what do you guys think about the youngster South Asians, how they are changing the society these days? Have you any experience about it, or any initiatives you like, oh, this person is doing something that's going to make a change in this society?
I feel like Bollywood is evolving. Like, if you watch, like, Alia Bhatt's movies, like Rocky or Rani, she's like very feminist character, and I like that. Or like if you watch the movie, I think it was called Gangubai.
Gangubai, yeah.
That was such a good movie, like it, like the portrayal of like women not being like this little like weak person that needs saving, and like her whole life revolves around a man. I feel like all the old movies, like Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, oh my god, I love that movie as a kid, right?
Yeah.
But when I watched it growing up, I'm like, bro, this girl, like, she, the guy that she loved married her like best friend, essentially, right? And now you're gonna marry him again. You're like still in love with him, and now he realizes he's in love with you after you've become like more like feminine. I'm like, what is happening?
Guys, go and check Kuch Kuch Hota Hai.
I was like, bro, like, I like side-eye. I was like, ooh. I'm like, why did I like this movie so much? So I'm glad, like,
you start disliking,
I'm glad, like, Bollywood's like is slowly evolving.
Yeah, I have to say that from the time when it's time of Netflix, now Amazon web series and kind of stuff, when it's more and more short movies and short films, it's like literally changed a lot.
Yeah.
Now people, like, I would say from that older culture of like a long movie, instead of now switching to these more, I don't know, it's OTT kind of thing. Switching to these things, I think they are literally making changes.
Yeah,
now,
they are like.
Now they're like more open about the stories, and like that's hidden. They're bringing from like very ground level some concept. Even if we're talking about like they're literally making on common man stories, like now, like somebody struggling to get a job, somebody struggling to even pass a grade or something like that. So literally they're going in that depth now, and I would say, like, I love the transition from TV and films to the OTTs. I think that are giving us more real side of that.
Like my mom, she's been watching like all these web series of shows, and I'm like, I remember one time I came home and she was watching it, and I saw like kissing and stuff, and I'm like, whoa, in Bollywood? And she's
Yeah.
like, no, it's like a web series, and they were like swearing so much. I was like, okay, wait, like what's happening to Bollywood? Like, she's like, oh yeah, like ignore the swear words, but it's a very good show.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like Bollywood has been evolving. Like, if you remember the movie, I think it's called like English English.
Yeah,
That movie low-key made me cry when she was trying to order like coffee or something, and the lady was yelling
I think it
at
was
her.
a MacD, and she was trying to.
Yeah, I was so sad. I'm like, oh my, because she was like trying. It actually resonated with me. I'm like, oh, maybe my mom went through that when she first came.
Yeah.
Or like, there was this one movie I watched. I don't remember the name. But this girl, she married a guy her father did not want her to marry. So she moved away with the guy. She married him. And then her father and brother were like, okay, we accept your marriage now. We're going to come over, right? So she went to go buy sweets. And she came back.
Stop, Roman Empire.
And she came back, and her dad like threw her husband and her son
killed her
over the
husband, yeah.
balcony, and they like fell right in front of her.
That's Bharat.
That movie traumatized me. I was like, oh my god.
That's the real side of some societies back in India. It literally happens. I think Gurnoor touched on that in the previous questions. Like, this happened that you're like, they're gonna
Like
just
the
shoot
shooting,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember there's like this, like even like in media cases, it's like, I don't know like the names of but this one girl got married to like someone her mom didn't want her to marry. And then her mom's like, oh, come home, like, I accept your marriage. And her mom killed her. And they set her body on fire and stuff. And I remember that. And it's just so sad, like, seeing it, like, realistically. So it's, like, very sad to see. But at least, like, now the media is, like, talking about it more. And, like, there's, like, movies and shows that are portraying, like, how it actually is to be, like, a South Asian woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say, like, people are just glorifying these kind of crimes in the name of dignity.
Yeah.
Like, it's our dignity or something like that. It's a reputation in society, but they're just like glorifying it's killing a daughter is in general looking into it's killing a human being as a crime. But they're just glorifying, because if you're gonna post this video, it's gonna be 100 people saying that she did right. Mother did right, because it's for dignity. But it's wrong in general. Like, killing a human is a crime. It's a crime that you can't change it. So stop glorifying these kind of crimes, like in for your reputation or whatever. I don't know how to say this, but I don't know the exact word. But it's like glorifying. It's also not. I feel like it's a lot.
They're like
it's
encouraging it. I feel like they don't even see daughters as humans. They see them as like puppets or props for them. Like, they're like, oh, like, if you marry this man, you know, our status in society will raise. Oh, marry a rich man.
I would say, like, not for every family.
Not for like I feel like it's like very like tradition, like very tradition. I feel like a lot of families have like evolved now, but like there's like cases you still see of this stuff happening.
It's somewhere where they missed awareness education. I have to say that's still there. Like, not every family, but yes, if there some families are educated, some are good either for economic status, financially, either they're fine, but some concepts like marriage, divorce are still, they need to be more advocate, like they need more advocacy on that. Like, if I know the families, like, you're good to go, you can go to the city alone, you can study there, you can be a woman, whatever you want to be, but at the end you have to come back home and have to get married to the guy we choose. So some families have education, some families have resources, but they end up for some concept, they end up still stick to all the traditional ideas. So it's like giving you freedom, but with a kind of, still holding it. It's kind of you letting you go, but still holding and expecting you to come back for some reasons, and also not. So sometimes I feel like being a woman, you're stuck there. You studied for example, I come to York, I got such kind of exposures, like I have good ideas, but at that, if somebody asking me come back and get married to the guy we choose for you, so it's gonna stuck, and it's gonna obviously there are gonna be clashes with my ideology and their ideology. So I feel like if you're giving the freedom, at least given in a way like they actually can live for it, like they can actually enjoy it. Yeah, being a child, what the expectations of your parents so far, sometimes from your education, sometimes from your career, make sure you're meeting that, because they also have the struggles, and they've made the struggles and sacrifice for you. That makes sense. But like being a woman, that I feel like it's that if you're giving the freedom, it should be complete. It's not like, because even that's another glorification, like people do, like we send our daughter to study abroad, we send our kid to do that, we're so open for that. But for some reasons, when we're some points when we have to actually look for the parents to be there, they just switch the personality. They like the society, they switch the personality. No, education, doing that, go exploring, travel is fine, but for these some situations, we want what everybody is doing.
Oh my god.
So this
Like
is
a give and take.
Like, speaking,
relationship.
bro, my family has like this no BMW rule. Have you ever heard that?
No.
BMW.
You want to talk about it?
I
BMW
think I
stands
know
for
what you're
Black,
talking about.
Muslim, White. No Black, Muslim, or white
Really?
people for
That's
marriage.
so true.
They call it, they're like no BMW.
I have no idea about BMW.
I
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I've heard it since like when I was in high school. I started hearing it because that's when they like, oh, like you're growing up, you're gonna start like meeting guys or whatever, right? I'm like, okay, no BMW. I'm like, okay, leave me alone. Like,
Oh
I don't even want to think about
I
that.
learned today.
BMW.
Yeah, but then, like, my grandma on my mom's side, she started watching like Turkish dramas, and so she called my brother one day, and she's like, before you marry someone, do a live-in relationship. And he told my mom, he's like, what's a live-in relationship? And my mom's like, where did you hear that? And he's like, from your mom. Like, and she called my grandma. She's like, what are you telling my son? She's like, oh, like, you didn't get that privilege. I didn't get that privilege. You know, at least live with the person before you marry them. That was so funny, though.
That's so crazy.
I know. But she only said it to my brother. She would never say that to me. And I feel like sexism, you know, like, rules are different for my brother than they are for me, right? But yeah.
I don't know if it's a good change or a bad change.
No.
Even if they start saying it to a guy,
I
like
know.
at least they start saying it. I don't know if it's for good or bad.
I don't know. I thought it was super funny because, like, my grandma, you know, super traditional from India. She was, like, saying live in marriage. I thought it was super funny. My mom didn't find it as funny, but
she got scared.
It was
like.
so funny. Yeah.
Okay. So here we're going to wrap up with our last question. So if you guys get a chance to reimage, of course you're going to get a chance because you're going to be a great lawyers in future and you're going to advocate for the people. So if in case you got a chance to recreate or like redefine the South Asian immigrations or maybe change some stereotypes, what it would be?
I think one of the biggest stereotypes I would change would be relationships. Like Mahi, like we just talked about, like, you know, the BMW rule.
Yeah.
Like, definitely change that. I feel like, honestly, it doesn't matter. I know, like, a lot of people who married, like, an Indian person and they're, like, unhappy.
Yeah.
In terms, like, I also know people that actually did marry someone from, like, the BMW and, like, they're happier. So I honestly think, like, changing that. I think changing the whole rule of, like, if my son does something, like, I don't really care. Like, I'll think about it later. But, like, if my daughter does something, like, you're constantly focusing on, why are you doing this? You have to be home by, like, 8. Like, looking at all of that, changing that sort of, like, patriarchy. And,
I agree. I think, like, relationships, I feel like parents need to be more open on that, especially, like, since, you know, we're going to be surrounded by people from, like, so many different backgrounds and cultures. Like, you can't help who you, like, you know, end up liking and stuff. It's not always going to be, like, my mom's like, you have to marry a brown, Gujarati, Hindu guy. And I'm like, well, you know, if I find one, I find one. But, like, I'm not going to, you know, I don't know. In the future, I have to see, like, I'm only 20. So that's, like, a problem for later. Like, maybe during law school or after law school, But I feel like my cousin, she did not listen to that. She married a white guy. So, props to her. Yeah, so, and everyone showed up for the wedding. Like, they learned to accept it. So I feel like for brown girls, it's like you have to do what you want to do. And then your family just has to learn to accept it eventually.
Yeah, that's good.
I hope my mom doesn't watch this.
That's good. It's a good change in your family right now. It's coming on
and
the
like
way.
like stereotypes, like, oh, like boys and girls are very different. I feel like that stereotype and like mindset also needs to change.
Yeah.
You know, I think you should treat your son and daughter very equally.
Yeah.
Just so your daughter, she might feel a certain way, being like, oh, like they love him more than they love
Yeah.
me. Because I used to feel that way when I was younger as well. Like I'm like, oh, they love my brother more than they love me. That's why they like treat him better than they treat me.
I will say, actually, don't count on the age. I hate that thing.
Yeah.
Don't count the age.
Don't
Like
count the age.
when, like I think we're still in our 20s or something, and like they start planning. Okay, by this age you have to do this. By this age you will be done with this. By this age raise your kids like this. So I would say don't count their age. Like okay, it's good to suggest them to get settled by the certain age, but let them do the things.
Yeah.
Even I would say not like for us either, for any South Asian. If anybody want to start at 30, anybody want to start something at 35, please let them do it. Please don't stop that. And for, I would say, from both parents and children's, like from both point of view, I would say like both side need to be like a little bit change the mindset. For the kids, like if your parents been through so much sacrifice and struggles, you at least meet some expectations they're looking from you, as from your career, from your, I would say, as a human being. And from the parents, like I would say, if you're giving some freedom and giving some rights, please give it in a proper way. It's not something just to show that we're giving, but at the end you're not. So from both sides, I would say like try to understand each other's expectations and where it's wrong. Just of course take a stand for yourself, that's come first, but like I would say just work in the collaboration. I would say if children are making some changes in themselves to the parents, and parents also need to update themselves for their kids as well. So I think that's from my end. Anything, guys, you want to add on this before we wrap up?
I feel like my dad has talked about like the whole marriage thing to me and my brother because we're getting older, right? He's like, oh, now's the time you need to like start meeting people. Like literally this weekend, my dad went to a wedding and he's like, oh, your brother should have came. There's like, you know, he could meet a nice girl at a wedding. Because I feel like recently, like, my cousin, she's 23, she just got engaged too, right? And they met at a wedding.
Yeah.
You know, so my dad's like, oh, like, you can meet people at weddings. Like, my aunt, she met my uncle at a wedding, you know? It's like, oh, you can meet people at weddings or, like, functions or events, right? And he was like, oh, like, if you're gonna, like, marry someone, you're also, like, marrying them into like our family, so make sure they like understand our culture or like get along with your family. Don't marry someone that like won't talk to anyone.
I would say be adapted, like be adaptive in that. Like if you're even not even like somebody coming to South Asian culture, even if you're going to somebody's other culture, be open. Be open to learn and accept everything that's
also,
coming
like,
to you.
Their family, like their family is also willing to like
have you as a family member, right? To
exactly.
be open and try to accept what is coming, right? Yeah. Do you want to add something?
Don't force your daughters to like, you know, like you have to get married. Like I feel like honestly, I feel like my biggest fear is I don't want to be a trophy wife. Like I work so hard for a degree and everything, and then I'm just a housewife. So don't pressure your daughters to get married. Like when the time will come, it will happen. So, yeah.
At least give them that 7 years of becoming a lawyer. And then they can think about it. At least don't come within that 7 years when there's one thing is going on and they're like, okay, just get married and be the lawyer after the wedding. So let's stop that for a while. Let's let them complete at least a 7 years of life properly. And I think with that, we're gonna wrap up this episode. And thank you guys for listening. Who's listening from Spotify, who's also watching us from YouTube. Thank you so much for time. And for more episodes like this, stay tuned and follow us on our Instagram for Women in Law Association. Also on our YouTube, it's Lady Justice Talks, and Women in Law Association is our YouTube name. Same for the Spotify, and stay updated, follow, subscribe, share, and thank you for your time. See you until next time. Bye.